I think all the credit and kudos go to our guys for winning that ball game. First of all, teams that are 3-16 are not supposed to win that ball game. What happens is when you have a big lead like that and you let it slip away in the second half, and then the game goes into overtime and you had a chance to win the ball game, most teams would just drop their head and just get resolved to another loss. So I'm really proud of is the way our team defended. We've been playing man-to-man defense for about maybe 8 days, and for us to go out there and defend the way they did, really proud of them. They bought into it. They understand that we can be good in it. And to hold a team like UT Martin, who I think just got through scoring maybe 96 points in the game, to hold them to 33% from the field and 15% from the three-point line, just really proud and happy for our guys to gut this win out. And I think, the way we play today is more representative of the way we should be playing and what you can expect. A team that's going to be very hard to play against, a team that's going to be hard to prepare for, but a team that just other teams don't want to face because when they get done, they're going to be physically and mentally exhausted.
Is there anyone or anything you can kind of attribute to maybe picking the guys up and heading into overtime and making sure that they didn't just drop their heads? Or?
Well, we just talked about the first thing is it's 0-0 for real. I know some people come in the second half and they say it's 0-0. It's really not, and the guys know that. But now you go into overtime, it really is 0-0. And I told them we need to come with the same intensity and effort we did to start the basketball game, and we'll be fine.
The man-to-man defense, what is it that you like about it, and what do you think the guys are doing well in it?
Well, first of all, it's what I do. I'm much more comfortable teaching man-to-man. I know zone principles, but I've been under the tutelage of some very good man-to-man defensive coaches with Matt Painter and Brad Brownell. So I think that I'm much more comfortable teaching that. But the other part of it too, when I worked for the guy at Indiana State, he said he hated zone because when something broke down in the zone, he didn't know who to blame. He says when he breaks down the man-to-man, he knows who to blame. So I think there's a little bit more accountability when you play man-to-man.
Second half, obviously, shots just weren't really falling early. Did you like the guys' shot selection? What did you think of kind of the second half there?
Well, when we started the second half, I told them the way we lose this basketball game is that we don't execute on the offensive end. We would have to give them the game, and we did that. I thought our shot selection was poor. I thought we got hurried and rushed. I thought we had bad turnovers. I thought their pressure started to bother us a little bit and sped us up. So, I thought we kind of got discombobulated on the offensive end, and our bad execution on the offensive end contributed to them playing well on the offensive end. So that was my number one concern. I said, hey, we're going to continue to defend and grind, but we can't give them the game because we don't execute on the offensive end.
To hold Howard to 5 points, who gets the credit for that one?
Well, I think everybody gets credit for it because what happens with a guy like Tamon Howard is he's really a three-man that's a big physical three-man, but he's playing the 4 spot. So if you don't switch, then all of a sudden he's picking and popping and driving your 4-man who's coming over for help. So it's really at a disadvantage. But then if you do switch, now all of a sudden he's got a big, strong, physical guy, and he's Jamal Calvin or somebody's guarding him. He can kind of overpower him. So, I think all of our guys have to take credit because our goal, we always say, is 31. And what that means is when one person has the basketball, really 3 people are guarding it because there's somebody to their right in the gap and there's somebody to their left in the gap. So they're going to see 2 other people besides the defender. So I got to give our whole team credit for executing the switches, but more importantly, being there for each other on help defense.
Did you give Antonius any trouble for not making that second free throw there after the game, after this one was in the bag?
No, I didn't say. I was just happy to have him back on the court, and what Antonius did coming back from an injury, and then us saying well, Antonius, we need to win the game, so we're going to put the ball in your hands and just go out there and make plays, because we ran a lot of things for him to attack the basket, and he did a really good job of doing that. So, for a guy to come back that has lost the flavor for playing basketball because he's been out, and for him to come back and perform like that, just really proud of him.
First, Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
just talk about going to the man-to-man defense. What are some of the things you think worked with that? And also then the second half, what are some of the things defensively that you think didn't work?
Well, I thought our defense was good throughout the whole course of the game. I thought in the first half our D was outstanding, and then in the second half our D was good. So it's just a difference there because of the intensity. But I think the most important thing is all of the mental things that you have to take in when you're playing man-to-man. When you're playing the zone, it's just like bump here, bump there, bump here, bump there. But when you're playing a man-to-man and you're going against all those sets and all the things you have, you have about maybe 15 things that you have to remember and go out there and execute, but still play hard. So I think the most important thing is our guys mentally, how they perform, not just physically in that man-to-man defense.